Good evening. Just setting up things here a little bit. I trust everyone is in good health after another summer has come and gone, as they say. I'm just bringing up my iPad so I can monitor what's happening. I won't be on long, but I did want to thank those of you who have thought it not robbery to check in on your aging instructor and to give him words of encouragement, which are always needed. Okay, good. I can hear me, which means I've got a good sound going through. I should always introduce myself. Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services, a retired 48-year church musician, but involved in music probably well over 50 plus years, learning all different styles. If you read my post on the channel of what Chat GPT, uh, the actual bio that it put together on me, I says, okay, I can agree with what's there. Of course, it's not down to the to every time I sat down to play, but it did a tremendous overview of musically what I enjoy doing and how it interprets my music, as it did go out to the internet and do that search. So yes, I had I won't call it the flu because I did not go to a doctor for confirmation, but I looked up my symptoms, and as far as flu symptoms go, cold, heavy congested cough, uh, lost about 7 pounds of fluid. So I'm still, I won't say that I am dehydrated, but if you notice my face, I got the lighting a little different. It is a little uneven because of the actual amount of fluid loss. And I did much more sleeping than I normally do. And that was because I just did not want to be awake. But I'm on the other side of that illness, and I thought it not robbery to come on live. I've been doing a couple of videos in the background for those for clients of mine who are waiting on them, and I haven't looked at the ones yet from August, which I have not been able to answer. I may or may not touch on some of them. We'll see. But I am feeling, let me just turn on my air conditioner down here. I do still have the hot flashes, which means I need to stop, sit down, let my body continue its recovery process. And I'm going to back off on a lot of the videos I was doing because I have some other projects that I was piling on top of all of those videos that I was trying to get to. So I'm going to pull back a lot of that. I am still working on the booklet. It was due out hopefully this week, but I had to put that on hold. But the actual Christmas booklet, chords and breakdowns, using the number system, and I was actually creating my own chords that could be associated with that booklet. That may be one I may continue to do. Still trying to get it out by the end of this month to assist church musicians with becoming the best version of themselves possible. Am I comfortable at playing? As you can see, I'm right next to my keyboard. I have been doing videos already. So let's switch over to main lesson page. There we go. I have been doing videos already, so I'm not, I wanted to make sure that there was no structural or muscle tendons that may have been, I'm gonna call it atrophy, if that is the term. I played so much over the years that my hands never get tired. Let me just do this. I know I'm not at my top speed when I'm not thinking. Welcome, KJ. What is your question? takes 30 seconds for me to see your response. So I've been limbering up, you might say, on some previous video requests that I had. There are several of you who have made multiple requests at a time, and I think I've put in some of those videos that I've done prior to my getting ill, was that I'm giving everybody a chance. So if you request more than one breakdown, you won't see 3 done in a row. You will see 1 done, and then I will move on to the next requester, giving everyone an opportunity to have access to what I show you. And as I have okay, I don't understand. What can you please do requests in the key of C? I was trying to keep away from doing requests because I'm going to allow my body to heal itself. If it's a basic song where I don't have to learn it, if it's, you know, traditional church hymn or traditional praise song, then that's easy. But if I got to stop to learn it, that takes time, and that's not what I'm going to be doing tonight. But each lesson that I have put out there, out of the over 2,000 lessons, each of them are designed to teach you to learn on your own and not have to always rely on myself or any other content creator that also teaches gospel music to show you the chords. I realize that every I do watch them. Every instructor of music has their own, how can I put it, their own seasoning. This is how they do it. This is how they teach it. And everyone likes to be correct in their approach to a song. My look is always in the traditional sense, as I learned as a youngster to associate songs with the scale notes on the keyboard. This way, if I knew what scale the song was in, I could find the chords. If I could find the chords, I could find the progressions. If I can find the progressions, then I can assign them to the melody line. Any song out there, this is my practice routine, which would be every time I sat down. Yes, there's still a cough. Okay, KJ, you like to request multiple songs and to have those songs put into the key that is not natural to the song. I'm going to have to either table your request, because I'm going to get away from learning a song just to transpose it into a comfortable key for the musician who's learning it. As you saw, the key of C is an easy key to play in, which means any song that you want to learn, if you know what scale it's in, it is not hard to simply go down half steps and play it in that lower key, understanding that you change the whole soundscape of that song just by lowering the key by that many numbers. So I'm going to, and again, this is not an actual shade or an actual snipe at you, but I'm going to begin to not accept key changes to a song that I have to learn. If I don't have to, if it's a traditional congregational song, and your congregation can't sing above E flat and C makes it comfortable, that's an easy song lesson to put together. But to take the time, because I'm recognizing that I am not as sturdy as I once was in my younger days, to take the time to learn an entire song. By entire, for me, it is, what's the intro sound like? What does the verse sound like? Is there an interlude? To take the time to do that and tax or overtax what I want to be doing, which is instructing and not just breaking down songs. At some point, I expect those who request songs, multiple songs, to be able to learn how to do that. And if that is an issue, that is why I have the Patreon page where you can support me financially to be able to put a little more work into it, or direct lessons. As you can see, I have, and I'll just put this up here. I have Skype. I do Skype lessons where you would financially support me even more to have direct one-on-one lessons to see what it is we need to do to break you out of a mold that is holding you to having every song requested put into one key. Because for God's sake, I hope you're not using the transpose button to compensate for a skill set that hasn't been worked on. So your request for placing songs in the key of C, every song in the key of C, unless it's written in C, I'm going to have to deny that request. And I will do that for others who have already in the past made requests. I'm looking at preserving me. I'm not being preserved if I'm putting myself out there more. And I've got projects that I want to get done now, not just the actual ebooks. I have many more ebooks in my head, but the actual virtual singing books. I wanted to do virtual singers for the Christmas season and rewrite songs and show that whole process. So which keyboard do I have? I have the Yamaha SX70, S70XS. That's every key. That's this keyboard that you've been watching on my channel. Let's see. Let's give you a point of view. I hate making a mess of my page. We'll put that there. So that is my keyboard. That's what I use. 2008. It is a 2008. I purchased this keyboard for 2024, so it's already 16 years old. I have no need to invest in the Nords or every Yamaha that comes out because this keyboard gives me what I need: pianos, strong rhythm sections to practice with, and it works well with my software for whatever I want to do. And again, and this is directed directly to you, KJ. No shade. I'm not throwing shade on you on a live session, because you're not the only the only viewer who would request me to put songs in the key of C or the key of D flat. Again, I'm going to look at preserving me. I have to preserve me, which means use the most powerful word in the English language. The most powerful word in the English language. It's only 2 letters long, and it is the word no. But I do thank you for your continued viewership and your support for the channel. I do hope you have been sharing my channel with other musician friends that you know. You're free to make a comment with a request. And again, if it's a song that is in the key of C that I don't know, then I put that on the list as one which, along with others, because you have multiple requests. I'm skipping through each request so that I can get to everyone that is actually making a request for a breakdown, and I'm hoping that that breakdown is so that you can enhance whatever skill set one may be at without you really having a one-on-one with me on a video chat, just to see where you may be need building up. Again, if you can maneuver through the key of C, then you can maneuver through every key on the keyboard. But if you can't maneuver, then that's where the work needs to be done, not just take every song and put it into the key of C. Never learned Melodies from Heaven, but it's a Kirk Franklin song, which means he has his own R&B, gospel R&B chords. I'll put it. I can't even hear the song in my head right now, just that part. Welcome, E-Will. Yamaha MX88. I've never played on one. So without going through or looking at reviews from anyone else that has one, I don't. Again, I'm the type of musician that doesn't go after every keyboard because it comes out brand new. Is the one that I currently have functioning to give me what I need to be able to meet what that need is. I know a lot of keyboards give you multi-layered sounds. If you listen to me play, I don't use layered sounds. I use just a piano sound straight. I don't need to layer pads and strings to sound like I'm more than one musician. Being able to use the sustain pedal and place chords around the song is how you grow as a musician. If you didn't have let me switch back to that. As you can see, the Chordy app is not there to tell me what this chord looks like, but the notes are there to let me know what that chord sounds like. I hear 1, 2, 3, 4 notes. They all found in the C major scale. All 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 these notes are in the C major scale. But if I don't practice them, I won't know that they're there. All in the C major scale. So once you accept the fact that there is a scale in the key that you want to learn in, what's next after you learn the scale? You learn the chords of the number system so that you will know what chords are generic to that scale. Then you go outside of that. You extend them out, which is what the jazz musicians do. They go from the 2 to the 5 to the 1 to the 3 to the 6 to the 2 to the 5, and after a while that may get that may sound like it's cookie cutter. Well, millions of songs were written on just those chords. But as I begin to expand out, look at how many more chords become accessible by using the keyboard that you have. Again, those who have a 61 key keyboard are a bit challenged because after they run out of 61 keys, they've got to shift the notes down to be able to continue that sound. But if you got, this is 76 or 88, then you use everything that's there But by learning, again, not just the C major scale, but all the scales, then you will know where to go find those jazz turns. 2-5-1, 2-5-1, 2-5-1, 2-5. It is easy, but it requires discipline. So, as I was saying, thanking those of you who thought it not robbery to uh, send me your words of well wishes and your prayers. For those who like to um, downgrade what a prayers or what a prayer does, it helps the mind of the person that receives it to try to take their mind off of what is holding them down and allow the natural body to heal. Give me a second. I'm going to take a swig of water, but I want to be respectful and not do it in front of your face. So let's pick a page where I don't be drinking water in front of your face. This one? No, not that one. All right, I didn't want to drink the water and be disrespectful, but I do appreciate, again, those of you who are in the room, who are watching, who have been great supporters of this channel. Let's see if I can look at the listing of songs that I haven't gotten to, because I have more that I have not posted yet on my own chart, because I have to start a September list. Let's see. Were you in the house when the saints go to worship? That's Donald Lawrence. You Can't Beat God Giving by the Caravans. Remember Me. Oh, that's a Baptist hymn, though. Pray for Me, Dewey Smith. I Am, KJ, I See Your, Luther Barnes, God Grace, Shirley Caesar, It's Alright. I thought It's Alright was already done. Another person asked for 3 of them. That was done, that was done, that was... Oh, that wasn't done yet. That was done. When the Saints Go to Worship, Donald Lawrence. It's Alright was already done. Did you put that back in there as another request? Oh, you pulled it out. Okay. Okay, so that was before I stopped keeping up with it. I'm feeling pretty strong right now. Normally by this time I'd be wanting to go lie down, but sometimes when the body has been sick, you've got to keep it constantly challenged to help build up its strength. So let me look at what was currently asked for. Let's see. Excuse my sign, I'm looking at another screen. Somebody wanted an organ. Please do this organ lesson in C major for a beginner like me. Organists are not beginners. Organists have put time in on the piano. Organists usually come in at year 5 to 9, and they only attempt to go to the organ because they become accomplished on the piano. So C major for breakdown, My Soul Loves Jesus. If you have an organ patch on your keyboard, listen, again, the organ is about drawbars, foot pedals, double manuals. It's not about learning how to play in the key of C on the organ. You already should know the key of C. In fact, you should be able to, on your keyboard, pull up an organ mode and be able to emulate what those chords would be. So let me just look at that. My soul loves Jesus. Let's pull up an organ patch so I can demonstrate what I mean. I've got so many here. I go to one that I use. Let's see, not that one. Drawbar control. There we go. Now, of course, I have an actual volume pedal on my keyboard for when I'm in the organ mode, so I can do this. Again, it's all about knowing the melody. B flat, chain. Oh, welcome, A-Wash. Okay, was just trying to upgrade on my keyboard because the one I have is now hardly works. Yeah, if you're not I'm gonna call you the actual repair sense, what you may want to look at is keyboards that were built sturdy back in their day. A lot of this newer stuff now and all this technology, if that one you had lasted you quite a few years, look at the brand name. If it's a Yamaha, then again, I generally don't like to recommend keyboards because everyone has a pocket budget that they work in. My budget when I got this keyboard was put it on time and pay for it over time. But then buy good so that it will outlast the work that I've planned on putting on it to it. And I kept it practically in this studio. I think it's been out of this studio maybe 5 times in, was it 18 years? Is it 18 years? How long has it been? 2008. 16 years. Is that right? No, is that right? I'm bugging now. 2008, that's when I got it. It's 2024. Yeah, 16 years. It's been out of this location maybe 6 times. So I keep track of my instruments, and as you can see, I don't bang on it. I play it so that it will last. Welcome, Smooth Keys. I thought I was sharing the keyboard. This is a 16-year-old keyboard. Let's change our view. This is a 16-year-old keyboard, Yamaha, one which I don't beat my keyboards to death. Let's see. Move me around a bit. There we go. You know I like order. Well, that is the keyboard right there. My battery going bad. Am I just blocking the signal? There we go, blocking the signal. So that is the keyboard right there. It's built in the Yamaha way of having sliders. Not the 9 you get now, but just the 4, which are fine for me. Pre-programmed beats. This is for studio work. So when you hear me pull up different beats on it, this is what I'm using. I'm in the organ mode right now. Let's assign a drum, traditional beat. So yes, that's what I teach. I teach.
I just joined something Patreon for $5 a month. I don't know if that what you meant by going on live. Thanks, and sent a folded hands emoji.
I teach the approach of learning scales, learning the chords which are built on scales, learning the progressions which are built on scales and chords, and then learning the styles which are classical, jazz, hymn, anthem, gospel, contemporary, urban, whichever version of gospel, and then borrowing from every particular style to be able to accomplish what every musician wants to do, make a joyful sound. Williams Allegro 3. Okay. Let's see. I have a Yamaha MX88 keyboard and also have a Hammond A100. Who was asking about the? Yes, E-Will was asking about the MX88. So you can ask E-Will. You can ask Smooth Keys, right? How does he like it? I don't have a course. I did that back in the early or the middle well, I should say early middle 2000s. I did that from 1999 to 2013. So now I just have a YouTube channel where I break down traditional gospel sounds, traditional gospel songs, give the approach that I use. There's no book other than the one that I created, which is a workbook, which is embodied with all the songbooks that help me get a better understanding as to how to associate notes on a keyboard to the notes I hear being played by the more professional musicians. I often comment that in my earlier days, there was no one who sat me down to teach me how to play piano or organ. No one. It was self-taught, how can I put it? Uh, Torture, because I would hear things on an album and I could remember what it sounded like. When I got down to the keyboard, I did not know how to approach it. Yes, I knew where the middle note was and every octave, but I didn't know how they put those chords together until I began to invest in piano theory books and chord books, which every now and then, I'm not going to go pull them out because I'm looking at them now. Chord books showing 3,300 chords, 1,000 chords, both left and right hand chords. And then I would sit down, and what I say is, I'm not a child prodigy. I'm a product of hard work and determination. So once I began to understand what a chord was, how to properly form it from a book standpoint, but then to understand that the book does not teach the improv of how people actually play a chord from one hand and can bounce over the keyboard. I had to sit down to a piano when I wasn't interrupting anyone, because there were no headphones back in my day, and learn how to find notes and teach my hands how to move at the speed of what I'm thinking. Again, I'm staying in the key of C for one of our viewers who wants every song put in the key of C, and I want you to see how much the key of C is just a part of what's on the piano. Playing scales I did not know the proper way to play a scale until a music teacher in high school, where I was learning to play the French horn, showed me how to do this. And that's all. He says, you're not here to learn piano. But just with that, I applied that to every key, and my fingers suffered, because this movement here is not the same movement here. It's different, not the same movement here. That's all different. So my fingers suffered trying to play that same pattern of what a scale would sound like. I knew the notes, but not the fingering, until I got a music theory book, and then I said, oh, the fingering changes by key. And all of a sudden, everything that I wanted to ever do piano-wise began to open up like the Red Sea. Now I could hear the chords in every song that I was having trouble learning before. Minor chords, the progression chord. Now I could hear those chords because I knew where they were found. In between this, all these chords are in between here. But what gives it that sound? Well, learning what that chord is, learning what that chord is, learning what that chord is, and then how they all resolve and drop. But if I use the sustain pedal, now I can hold chords, and because I did not get the instruction of how to use the sustain pedal. Again, no instructor. Even though I played in the church or was a youngster in the church, the well-traveled musicians that would come in and visit, that were the professional musicians, would hide their chords and would not share with me all that you see me sharing with you now, which is why I will sometimes get frustrated when the request comes multiple times to put every chord into one key, because there are 12 keys. They need love too. B major needs love. so easy once you understand and the chords that are associated with it. Diminished chord to a seventh chord, seventh over ninth. That's what traditional music sounds like when it's applied with traditional playing. And every time I start playing, I tend to get, and I remember those days when the skilled musicians refused. They didn't say go away. They just said, well, just keep practicing. And I'm like, okay, practice what? Oh, you'll get it. And then as a youngster, I'll say 13 or 14, I would be very displeased because I did not receive what I needed to help me understand what I was hearing in my head. Because I can hear the chords, I just did not know how to find them. I want to thank those who are coming in. Tremont, I'm not really looking at songs. I was looking at the ones that are on the list. Again, I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm monitoring myself. I don't feel any congestion as I usually do when it gets late at night, but that's okay. Welcome, Lynn. But I do appreciate those who are coming in, because you're the ones that were giving me words of encouragement and your prayers to get better. And I am getting better, but I'm also monitoring so that I don't create my own loop of what they call a relapse. So let me look at the other songs that were on the list. Someone wanted an organ of My Soul Loves Jesus, key is C. I'm not going to go into the organ mode. Let's see. Because I'm from the era. I'm from the baby boomer era. We don't believe in taking off because we're sick. We believe in taking off because we're almost near death. Other than that, we believe in coming in and putting in the work, so that, in other words, so the work gets done, because if it's put into our hands to do, the work needs to get done, and then we like to get paid also. So let's see what's on what that I have not lost from the time I was out. I'm just looking at all of your well wishes. Someone wanted the breakdown of the Brooklyn style, because I did that in one of the last videos before I took ill. Can you do Oh Give Thanks? Oh Give Thanks. I missed that one. Oh Give Thanks. Key of F. Oh Give Thanks in the key of F. Oh Give Thanks in the key of F. That puts that song up high. Key of F. Now, one thing I don't do is I don't lock into album chords, because everything I do is centered around music. The album chords just give you the music behind the singing. I believe in going to the singing. That's why I said this song in the key of F is high. You got sopranos that can get up there. So what you see me doing is I'm listening to the song in my head, looking at the notes that are in the major scale, looking at the chords in my head. I'm looking at the chords. I'm looking at the pattern of the song, where the melody is going, but I'm also fighting with. But this is kind of high for singers. But if you're doing it for a male chorus, then G, C, F. So that's the entire song from an actual scale and the actual traditional chord standpoint. Yes, you will hear those chords that they are in the song, but taken out of context, then you putting those chords in a different tone pattern, and then you gotta adjust and substitute. So the oh, give thanks for to the 5 to the 1. Now you can drop down to the 7. This is traditional, to the 6. 5, flat the, or sharp the 4, or flat the 5, or the 2. Let me go with 2. To the 5, 7, 1, 6, 7, 1. Pattern, looking for patterns. What do they call this? I'm trying to, again, I've been off. For he is worthy. And again, you're seeing straight chords, both hands, to give me a tone. Get that 7th in there. For he is good. Yes, he is good. For he is. Change up the chord. There it is. Worthy. I know where it's going. What's this? What? 2-5-1 in E? No, in D. 2-5-1, because E minor is F major. Chord scale 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. The E minor scale is F major in its chord. This is why I harp on the scales, because you will find out that you've been playing in a lot of keys because you did not know what associated scales, minor and major, what they mean to each other. Same notes, just a different starting point. For he is good. Yes, he is good. All right, so that's that request for Oh Give Thanks. I may revisit that one again. You never know. At least I never know why everyone wants an alternative key other than what the song was written in. Okay, this is KG's request. Can you please do key of C? Is that a song name? Please do. I need more. Well, thank you, Brother Holder. Did I miss any comments? Let's look at the songs that are here. look at the song "When I Speak Your Name" by Gateway Oaks. Gateway Oaks. I really don't want to be have to looking up any songs. It's like 5 chords, but how would you jazz it up so that it doesn't sound so plain? I did a series probably 3 years ago. Is it gospel or is it jazz? Where I take traditional songs that if you look at them in a hymnal and you played them straight, they are comparable for what it was written for. But the minute you start adding sevenths, diminishes, and minor 6 chords, it becomes a jazz tune, and it sounds better. But I've never been one to say that you need to jazz up every song if the original is recognizable, number one, because I think musicians get trapped into, well, it's got to sound Pentecostal, otherwise it's not right. And I'm like, no. Some of the greatest songs I've played are hymns, because I play them to their written structure, which means the scale notes that they're using. If it's 4-part harmony, I'll try to learn all 4 parts, but then switch it into maybe a 3-part harmony so that I can put a little movement to it. And that would be like the song, let's say, "Great is Thy Faithfulness," key of E flat. Great is Thy 2 or the 4, the 5, the 1, 4, 3, back to the 1, the 4 major, no, 2 major, to the 5, 7th on the 5, to the 1, 5, 4, 1, to the 4. I'm just thinking hymnal. As thou hast, to the 5, but over the 1. Now, again, I'm not looking at a hymnal. So you're saying, well, how are you getting to every note of that melody correctly? You did not struggle any of those notes, because I've practiced playing scales for decades, so that if I want to change it up and put a diminished chord to open it up, put a jazz turn, A flat, jazz walk up, 2, 5, 1, classical, contemporary, put a classical run, because I know where it's going to go, and I can go chromatic scales down, go to the 2 or the 4, pick my choice. We'll go to the 4. Think smallward. Down the scale. Great is. That comes from listening to other musicians, not approach to that song, but approach in music. And then going, well, gee, what if I wanted to add a march to that part? hold right there because I know where it's going to go. It's going to the B flat. But I can stay right there and walk. Because I know where it's going to go, I can now change up the mode. Diminished chord. Again, this is how I know that I'm feeling better, because I can now think in my head what I want to do, look at the keyboard, see where the notes are, and then perform it. Still in the F minor, which is the 2. Jazz turn on the 6. A flat, B flat. Diminished on the 1. Now we're in the gospel mode. This does not happen if I don't have the discipline to accept that there is more music than a jazz style, than a traditional hymn style, than a number system that says, well, if you're going to be in the 5, you can only play B flat. No, you play B flat in the 5 if the song is written in that mode. But what if you don't want to play a B flat in the 5? You are not left out. We're still in the 5. The 1. Great is thy. Nope, diminish. We're still in the 5. But now let's go to the 7. No, to the 3. And let's go to the 3 in C. What did I say about chords? The C minor scale is the E major scale. Those same notes are part of the E flat major. It's just where you start. Da, da. Little misty. It's all music. Or it's all music. To be able to switch into any song in any mode you want to is music. Welcome, Jeff. And thank you. That's what music is, to switch up anytime you want to. But if you don't have a discipline that you can tell your mind can tell your hands what to do to play the notes you want to hear, and if it doesn't, that means you need to go back and practice. See? One of the E major chord there, and then drop it down into this key. Yes, that's how much I love music, and sometimes when I get into a mode of what am I not showing, so that I can transmute that love of music, not just to learn it for a particular song, but to be able to take from that learning and apply it to any song. Yeah, I'm supposed to be recuperating, but as you can see, the more I play, the more I want to play. Let's see. So that question was about jazz up a song so it doesn't sound so plain. Let me hear what that song sounds like. When I speak your name, I don't know it. Let's make sure that I am not sharing that. Okay, when I speak your name. I don't know the song, but I'm getting an idea just from the title words that it's a family radio type of song. Indiana Bible College, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. This is a CCM song. Let me go on mute a second. Let me hear what the song sounds like. Be right back. right. As I say, when songs are written for a particular style and you want to jazz up, this song is, you would change the what is the correct word to use? You would throw off those who know the song in its original mode, key of F, but they're starting in the sixth. And I switched to a guitar because that's what I hear. Six to the five. Yes, I will learn a song in its original mode, even if it's had as using guitar, which is what a lot of CCM songs do. What you want to be able to do is to give the creative content of the artist first play before you start to add in your sweeteners. Just I could not jazz up because of its tempo. There's no drum beat in the back. Jazz requires a drum beat unless you're doing a nightclub scene or nightclub music. And because it's in a minor, going to the major, going to the major, and then following it back up to the major, then to the minor. These are songs I don't do. I don't, because that means I've got to now learn the song and then try to interpret it as in a jazz mode for a church setting. And that is not something I do for free. I'll use that term. That requires thought process, and which any thought process that takes me away from the projects I'm doing, which means you want to pay for my ability to rearrange an original song, which again, I take liberties not to mix up another musician's creation. Nobody would go run up to the Mona Lisa and start putting yellow paint on it because they like the color yellow. So live with the song the way it is, because that's how whoever's going to be singing it is going to know it. Unless, of course, you are rewriting the song for yourself. What jazz chords would I put in there? If again, I'm just throwing this out there just to give you my take on it. I'm a music connoisseur first. I believe in the creative process. So it may be just 5 chords, but those 5 chords are been sculpted around a particular style and a particular melody, which is why the CCM sound for a lot of musicians handcuffs them, because they want to get Pentecostal with a CCM song. Pick the correct song to do that with. Would I look at this song and go, well, give me a way to get from the 6 into the 4? Well, from a gospel standpoint, that would be to the 5 would be don't want to give any ideas because the song in its structure is fine. So we'll let that one go. Well, again, the statement was it makes it sound so plain. Plain is good. I think when you indoctrinate yourself into a particular sound and it doesn't and you don't hear that sound, you get lost. As you can see, I went right to the actual uh, key, guitar patch because that's what I was hearing. When I heard that, I like to be able to believe that I can emulate any sound that I'm hearing. Those are the 5 chords. But as you can see, what am I doing? I am arpeggiating around what a simulated guitar doesn't do. They are generally just hovering, waiting for the next change, where me musically says arpeggiate it. And you can see because I practice scales, I can just jump around the minor notes. All right, so I've looked at it. And I'm giving you some ideas already for jazzing it up. Think classical. All right. Let's see. There was another by Lynn. Counting My Blessings by Tasha Cobb. Tasha Cobb is another praise and worship morphe. I'll put it like that. Big band. I won't say big band sound, but traditional gospel has that big band feel, which is why I love it so much because that's the era of music that I did as a youngster in high school when I was learning how to play songs for the high school band. What's that song again? Counting My Blessings. And as you can see, I listen to the music so that I can absorb what the music is doing first. Words are for the listeners. Lyrics are not for the musicians. All right, I need to go on mute so that I don't influx and catch the YouTube AI. All right, so B flat, kind of a vibrish of, well, I'll say a cross between Kirk Franklin and Martin Donald Lawrence. Um, so you got that R&B feel. So if you were a number counter, you'd be hitting the one, but then there's a seventh in there with that what? Again, now you've heard me speak of the whole tone scale. When you know it exists, you'll hear those chords in every song. So those are where your chords are going to be revolving around. The R&B sound. There it is. I'm looking for where they're getting their bass notes from in the scales. And if you're not used to hearing these notes from their inception, which means traditional R&B chords, you would be hard pressed to start where the chords are. The chords are all the way down here. This is the R&B. R&B world is down here. Let me pull up a performance track of R&B love songs. Here we go. This is R&B love songs, chords, a patch. It's R&B. Again, I'm demonstrating when I hear chords being associated to a gospel song, I'm like, okay, who's the producer? And what era of music did his parents listen to? And to be different means to borrow from the past and apply it to the present. Let's see if any of the chords change. We'll go on mute a second. All right, so it's morphing into your more gospel sound. So this is when, for those who are learning this type of song, this was Lynn was the requester. This is where your preacher chords come in place. C, D flat. And again, they are using R&B sounds. These are the chords. These are the sounds they're using. These are the preacher chords, but they're switching, going here, going here, going here. And for those who like to think that this is church, this is jazz. That is jazz. It's just a matter of where you're going to place those chords. My chord builder series, I'm just trying to remember, I did do a series on jazz chords, contemporary chords, so you have to look through the search engine for all the many series I've done in the past, which may speak to, well, no, it won't speak to these chords, because I touched on jazz chords in traditional gospel music, but these type of songs, again, they are borrowing from a different era of music, but they are blending these chords to come across a different sound that's different than what everyone else is doing. So in order to be able to morph into these sounds, you've got to go back and learn how are they built. The F minor scale is the D flat major scale. So when I can jump from here and go here, because I'm now in that scale. I've just now jumped into the G flat major scale. And going down half a step to do the 5. Tritone over that same chord, but now I'm in the F, which is the preacher chord. and then the jazz, which is preacher chords. Dun, dum, 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 dum. Missed it. Dun, dum, dum. C. There it is. G flat, F, B flat. Because you will see in the song when we're doing this, there is our G flat scale. Let me see. Yep, there are the notes in the G flat scale, because then we're going to resolve it to take us back to the B flat. There are so many connective keys that go to defining a particular era of sound. You wouldn't have heard these chords during the era of hymns. It's not until the different composers or creators of different songs would begin to experiment. Who knows to go to, let me go switch my tone. Who knows to go from here to here? But a classical player would know to do that. Or a anthem writer. C, using the circle of fourths or fifths, depending upon you going left or right. Dominant 7 to take you to the F, and another dominant 7 on the F takes you to the B flat. But if you don't know that those note designations are designed to help composers to decide how they want to layer out their song. Oh, it's a favorite song, not one that you're learning to play for a choir. Those are the songs that take time away from teaching lessons, but that's okay. I want you to be able to play this back and see the chord formations of one of your favorite songs, and then listen to it as I did, and then just place those chords there. Let's see. When I first started listening to some jazz music on the piano, I thought to myself, why not mix it up with a few songs? This is smooth keys. It is not a okay. I got on headphones and I'm hearing something running in the background that I usually don't listen to hear. It's not a crime to use jazz chords in a quote-unquote gospel song. I think when we start labeling music, we actually cheapen it. And I use the word cheapen because I learned how to play row, row, row your boat as a flute player, and I thought that was one of the greatest songs that I'd ever learned, because I knew how that song went, but I never played it on an instrument other than trying to labeling music. Trying to play it on an actual piano. And I use the word cheapen because I learned how to play row, row, row your boat as a flute player. And all right, I was trying to charge my iPad because I'm running the battery down, and when I connected it in, it became part of the system because it's designed to connect. Excuse me a second as I reach down to power strip. Didn't expect to stay on this long, but as I say, I'm testing my body and letting it do its repairs also. But jazz music is it's a flavoring. Jazz to itself is, again, which we try to find, without an instructor to tell me when I'm not speaking correctly. I do appreciate those who do comment on my page, oh, you got your interpretation wrong. And I say thank you, because I had no interpreter. It's like a person who's been given a hymn book. If you hand this hymn book over, let me see, there we go. If you hand this hymn book over to a musician of today, they'll ask you, what do you want me to do with that? not knowing that through all these pages, there's a treasure of chords hidden. But a musician of today won't want to open up a hymnal because they're afraid that they may be found out. And you should never be afraid to be found out about music. That is your wake-up call that says, look how much I still need to learn. Yes, I can shout the house down uh, when it comes time for the praise. But what if someone needs a song that is going to minister to them, like Sweet Hour of Prayer in the key of C? That's the page that I just turned to. I'll let you see that I'm not just making this up. Sweet Hour of Prayer I just turned to, number 443, and it's in the key of C for my musician that wants everything in C. Learn some traditional songs in the key of C, and you will find out that once you see how easy it is just to apply traditional notes and chords to traditional songs, every other song you want to learn will become easy because you will know that you have a pattern to work from. Now I can read sheet music. It's in 6/8 time, and I can read sheet music because I learned to read sheet music as a French horn or a flute, trombone, French horn, and mellophone player, which helped me greatly when I had to learn hymns in a church. When they did hand me a hymnal, I didn't shy away. I said, okay, let me see what this is, and I would sight read. Now, it's 4-part harmony. If you would ask me to read the 4-part harmony, I got to do it one note at a time. But because I am very familiar with how the song goes, and in a live setting, no one is singing 4-part harmony, but they are singing melody. So then I can look at my jazz chords. Diminished chord. 3, steering the 3 to the 6, 7, 6, 2 with a 7th, sharp the 4 to the F sharp, and the G, 5 with a 2, because I can resolve it, because I can hear all these movements in my head. Now I can go, what is it, 5, 1, 4, no, 3. So, we'll go with the 5. That's not the chord I wanted. That's the chord I wanted. That is the classical sound. The gospel walk up. Turn on the 5. Three. 4. Okay, turn. What's the chord right there? That should be there. For the minor. Diminish. 5, 2 to 5. Now you can morph the chords. look at my left hand playing scales. But cannot, sounds to me like trombone, trumpet, bugle. But I cannot read sheet music that well. Well, what hinders you from improving on what you do know? Nothing stops you, especially in this day and age of the internet, where I did not have access to tons of lessons, not just from me. Again, I'm for the musician that is currently active in a church, not one who's beginning to become active. There are tons of sites out there for the first time beginner. I don't want to burden a beginner with the regiment I would put you through as a beginner. I'd rather have the musician who's currently active in the church right now, who may have come over from second keyboard and because the main musician got an opportunity or is gigging somewhere else, and then they find themselves in a service and they don't know what to do. There was a question there I saw. Smooth keys, I cannot do total praise because total praise will get me a copyright on the stream, and they may shut the stream down. But I have already videos placed teaching total praise in the way that it sounds on the album. I purposely used those chords from the album. I did it as a lesson and I broke it up, but I used the album chords and the vocals chords also. So it's already on the site. It's already there. Let's see. Jazz music. Just looking at the comments. I don't want to leave anybody out. As I say, I'm getting back to good health. Good health is good. That means I can do anything I want to do without causing any irreparable harm to an aging body. Let's see, I don't miss anything. Okay, I don't think I've left anyone out. Sounds like to me trombone, trumpet, bugle. Brass instrument is what I played. That was I was the mellophone. They had trumpet players already, and they didn't have a French horn part, but they did have a part for the mellophone. So, but I am very familiar with the actual brass sound. In fact, when you hear me play, I sound like a brass section, the big band sound, just pulling up. What I like to do sometimes is open up. What is that song? been a while since I played this song. Wow. I will go in Jesus' name. I have not played that song since I was playing for the youth choir. There it is. So yeah, my era of indoctrination into the jazz sound was as a jazz group. My French horn. 1812 Overture was my most beloved song to be able to play because it opened up with the French horns. Long time since I've done this. I had the second French on. This is therapy for me. So you get to listen to what I do for therapy. Where's my saxophones? Because I was nestled in between the saxophones and the trumpets. Saxophones to one side, trumpets to the other side. And that's where my ears began to hear everyone else's movements. So that I could hear in my head so much music. Whenever I sit down and I practice, I picture myself being in the orchestra, listening to all the movement. Anyway, for some reason my iPad is not staying live on the system. My mother played keyboard for a jazz band on the ferry until she played for the church until her passing. Oh, sorry to hear that. My condolences. My mom also passed 5 years ago. Beautiful woman. I got to see her on her last moments. I went home from the hospital, and that was the last time we spoke. But to see her smile, with a lot of tubes coming out of her, but to see that smile on her face when I walked into the room, I says, "Yeah, I'm here." And then I just prayed to God, "Don't let her suffer," and He didn't. And she had an opportunity to see me struggle on the piano and get to the level of where I am right now, which is one of the greatest things that you can do for a mother who believes in praying for her 7 children that she had, but took care of each of us as though we were an only child, to be able to show her that your prayers did not go unanswered, from the standpoint of my desire to want to be able to play the music that I heard inside of my head, knowing that there was no one available, I'll put it like that, to help me bring it out. And playing in the jazz band taught me how you can play music around a solo instrument. So when I began to play for soloists, I began to look at it as, okay, I'm a support. I'm not in competition. If someone is going to be singing His Eyes on the Sparrow in the key of D flat, I know I don't have to give them 1,000 chords, but let me lead them to the song. They've been led to the song. It starts on a 5. They're going to the 4 or to the F, E flat. No, for the F. High D flat, F, a D flat, A flat, and walk it down. Give them the chord that's going to lead them to the next change, which is a diminished chord. Watch it by heart. To the 2, it's the E flat minor, and drop it down because you're accompanying them. The jazz turns. Melody is scales, but because I learned to embrace the sound of a scale, if a soloist is struggling with remembering the melody to a song, I can throw it right in there. When they catch up, pull it out. F, G flat. Yeah. E flat. Most people don't do the C and crawl up. G flat, to G to the A flat. Huh. Now I done lost my chords. There it is. These are all jazz turns. His eye. Like this goes traditional. His on the spy. Most musicians don't take them down there. Stay in the 5. Stay in the 5. Now you go to the 3, 6, 2, his, flat the 1. Because you know it's going to go to the G flat. Passing tones, which are the smallwood chords. You can go diminished or stay right here. Go diminished. I sing. You're just a 5. 2, 5 to the 4. I'm happy. 3, walk it down and go right down the boom. I sing 'cause I'm. Now you can go to the 1 or you can go to the 6 and walk up to the 1. I generally will pick and choose. Now, if you're in the Pentecostal church, you're going to go to the minor 6 on the 4. D flat minor 6 is on diminished chord. Take it down to the minor, because that's the break in octaves. And I know. As you can see, you got to be in the range of the melody and then position your chords there. Anyway. Well, it's just wonderful to be able to support the ministry that your mother did, or in the way that she did. Just don't let that lock you up into believing that that's all that you're supposed to be. Much of what I'm doing is showing musicians that musically you can go anywhere, provided you have preparation, practice, and you're in the spirit of performing. Most times I would practice up until the Sunday before it was time for me to play and wouldn't use 9/10 of what I practiced. But it's nice to know that if I need to pull it out, I don't have to figure it out during the service. Because if somebody were to sing that song in the key of E major, I've got to be just as competent. Oh, that's A. D. Diminish. G flat to B, E D, E D, the 7th, E flat to E, oh, and D flat 7. Dun, 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 dun. D flat C sharp. His eye. I am testing my hearing and my ability to hear the notes before I play them. There's the chord I want. That's what I wanted. Or B major, E, and A major. That's where we are. Okay, I've kept you here longer than I wanted to, but it's good to, as I say, always good to have visitors come in on a live stream, as I'm in still recuperation mode, not recovering. I was recovering when I was recovery mode when I was sleeping a lot, and only time I would get up was to release some more fluids and then drink more in to compensate for that. But as you can hear my voice, I'm not coughing. Before it was all upper respiratory, still there a little bit, but I do appreciate the fact that many of you have left comments and words of encouragement, get well wishes, and this is just my way of letting you know that I'm on the mend, still musically sound, which is why I keep testing myself going into alternative keys I generally don't go into from a practice standpoint, but always wanting to show the process, scales, chords, progressions, and then styling. Style can be the classical, traditional, jazz, hymnal, spiritual, contemporary, CCM. Pick the style and apply the appropriate chords. Make sure I did not leave anyone out. So I am verifying messages because it does take 30 seconds for them to show up. So I don't see any there. Going back in time to make sure that I did not leave anyone out. I want to thank many of the first timers here. Awash, you're my first time. Will, I believe you had a question about the M88, and I think Smooth Keys uses an M88. Hopefully you got a chance to ask that question before you delve into a purchase. Is it a worthy instrument to include into your stable? Thank you, Sandra R, for coming in. I believe, Sandra R, you have been supporting me, and I thank you for that support. Tremon with the CCM song that you wanted to jazz up. As I've shown you, there are ways to approach it musically for a live setting, not a concert, but a live setting where you can add an influence of styles. And if you can pull it into the actual guitar mode, if you have a keyboard that gives you a guitar patch, take advantage of it. That's why it's there. If not, then pick a nice solid piano sound that gives you that lower registry of notes. It helps to build out a chord. Smooth Keys, Darius, Lynn, Terrell. And I think that's everyone. I'm going to 2 hours ago. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. I believe I was looking at the songs I had not finished from August. Pray for Me by Dewey Smith. As I say, I don't know every song, but with the proper technique, you can learn any song. Dewey Smith is a pastor out of the Atlanta area, which already tells me it is in a Baptist mode. Pray for me. He's got some tremendous musicians around him, though, and I try not to copy a musician's style, but if he played in a song, I will give reference to how they use those chords. So let me go on mute and pray for me. As I say, Dewey E. Smith. Be right back. All right, so jazz in a live setting, and the musicians just stay within the context of a jazz sound. Now this that drop down they did. So, big band jazz sound. In the, I'll put it, the present Baptist sound, where, you know, they go, his style music is the traditional, but with a much big, fatter sound, so that you could take advantage of what that sound does to the listener. You put big chords in front of a listener, and you give it an actual tempo, an actual beat to go with it. Let's pull up my drummer, and really got to slow it down. Drum pattern. This one. And then let's slow that down. Slow it down even more. We'll speed up a little bit. It's almost like Precious Memories, but you gotta think jazz with the minors, and think preacher chords also. Minor sixes. You have to do improv. the 6 on the E flat, not on the E flat, but the 4. Six, the 2, and on the 1. All right, I'm going to stop right there. So that is the Pray For Me by Dewey Smith, and that was a while ago. That's in August that one was requested. I'm going to stop. I'm running low on my water, and I want to get some rest. I try to get at least 9 hours. Generally, I get 7 to 8 hours in the sleep, but with the recovery mode, what the body has been doing, I've been giving it much more than I normally would so that it can recover fully. Thank you all for spending some time with me. As I say, playing music is also therapeutic for me. As you can see, the more I play, the more I want to play. So I want to thank you all for giving me your time here after 2 days after Labor Day, I guess. Oh, Labor Day was yesterday. When you're retired, every day is a holiday, every day is Sunday. And when you don't have a church ministry to be in preparation for, usually at this time I would be in preparation for the new change over, I believe it was Epiphany in the United Methodist Church, as they prepare for the Advent season in November. But I'm no longer in that preparation mode anymore. I don't have to think 6 months ahead of what songs I want to learn, revisit, or rebuilding a choir from them for being off for the entire 2 months. Such a good feeling now to do whatever I want, do whatever I want to do. So I do appreciate the visitation here at Sound of Joy Music Services. As I say, I'm going to revamp. I'm going to look at the listing of the songs. I'm going to pull out the ones that are requesting me to change keys to songs I have to learn, and respectfully maybe touch on it in a live like this and not devote the time I would normally devote to learning every song and trying to create a 8 to 10 minute lesson, although that's going to cut down on my viewership. But I've got to be conscious of this body now that it lets me know that it is capable of being taken out of the game in a matter of hours. Because I was fine one moment, felt a little cough, and next thing I know, temperature, and I'm like, yep, load up the NyQuil and let's ride this one out. So thank you all again. Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services. As always, make a joyful noise to the Lord. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and buckle up, because I think these last 4 months of the 2024 are going to be some kind of a ride, and they're going to need music. Going to need music to cool and calm the nerves of the listeners. Take care. Be blessed. Bye now.